My conversation with Cheri Bustos happened before the President and First Lady tested positive for COVID-19. Hopefully they have mild symptoms and a speedy recovery. Along those lines, the Congresswoman and I spoke about the next round of pandemic relief and the pressure to get something done before the election. This week, House Democrats unveiled a new coronavirus relief package with a $2.2 trillion price tag. That's about $1 trillion less than the HEROES Act passed by the House earlier this year, but that went nowhere in the Senate, we all know. This proposal would provide $436 billion for state and local governments, another direct stimulus payment for Americans, extend those federal unemployment benefits, and more than that, obviously. Republicans, though, won't move unless businesses, schools, and universities are protected from liability if they reopen. Democrats so far say no to that. Why aren't Democrats giving ground on that if it means everything else can get passed?
Oh, you know what? That's like one item out of hundreds of items in this bill. It was more than 4 months ago that I, as a House Democrat, and the House Democrat majority passed a HEROES Act. And if you'll recall, we passed it, sent it over to the Senate, and Mitch McConnell, in his infinite wisdom, said he was going to put a pause on moving forward on this. Now, that was tens of thousands of Americans' lives ago when he said he was going to put a pause on this. This pandemic has not paused for one moment since it hit our country. We are now hitting more than 200,000 American souls that are lost. And so he put a pause on it. Certainly didn't put a pause when he was wanting to move on the Supreme Court justice, but he put a pause on that. So I'm talking to you right now, Jim, from Washington, D.C. I will be voting either later today or tomorrow on what I hope is a negotiated settlement. And I hope it's bipartisan. I hope it'll pass the House. I'm confident it will pass the House. And I hope that Mitch McConnell will pick it up, and I hope President Trump will sign it into law. There is a real sense of urgency from the small business owners I talk with, the families who are worrying about how they're going to pay their next bill, the frontline workers, the doctors, the nurses, the police officers, the firefighters who are having to go to work every single day. Make sure that they have the protection, make sure that they can continue to support their families, make sure that counties and cities don't have to continue to face layoffs that so many in our community are facing right now. So it is a bill that we are willing to compromise on. We've already come down in the amount that we're talking about from our side. Secretary Mnuchin and the Speaker have been in ongoing talks over the last 24, 48 hours. So I'm hoping that we can get to something that will be good for the people in our congressional district, for our state, and for our nation.
Been following those talks between the Secretary and the House Speaker. Time, of course, running out, though, to reach a deal before lawmakers go home to campaign. How important is it to get this done before the election? Do you think it will get done?
I think it's critically important. I can tell you this: we will pass something. Now, I hope it's bipartisan. I hope it's House and Senate coming together. I hope the President is agreeable to this. That's always my hope, because that's when all of that works together. That's how we get help out to everybody. But regardless, we will pass something. And if we go back to our home districts, we'll be on 24 hours notice to return to Washington. But I'm confident that we will pass something before the election.
My conversation with Congresswoman Cheri Bustos. The House passed its latest measure Thursday night after our conversation. It's not clear if it has legs in the Senate. What she says about defunding the police, that's on Web Extra online at ourquadcities.com.